Hey guys, looking for new games with the most impressive graphics? Then you've come to the right place. We've already started the list with Clair Obscur Expedition 33, an innovative turn-based RPG with real-time mechanics that promise to make battles more immersive and addictive than ever. Developed with Unreal Engine 5, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 impresses with stunning graphics, detailed environments, and an art direction that combines the charm of the Belle Époque with elements of dark fantasy. The soundtrack, described as exciting and moving, is another highlight, evoking comparisons to games like Nier Automata. Expedition 33 takes place in a dark fantasy world inspired by the aesthetics of the French Belle Époque, a historical period known for its vibrant art, architecture, and culture, but here reinterpreted with a darker and more surreal tone. The narrative revolves around a devastating annual event caused by a mysterious entity called the Paintress.
Your number is painted. Not so fast! The cards have spoken.
Crimson Desert is an open-world action-adventure game being developed and published by Pearl Abyss, the South Korean company known for the MMORPG Black Desert Online. Initially announced in 2019, the game has generated great anticipation due to its ambitious proposal, impressive visuals, and an approach that combines narrative elements of single-player games with a vast and detailed world. The game impresses with high-fidelity visuals, including realistic environments, dynamic light cycles, and advanced physics effects. This is a result of Pearl Abyss's focus on optimizing the Black Space engine for next-generation consoles and PCs. The combat system is one of the highlights, described as visceral and challenging, but not in the Souls-like style. Inspired by games like Dragon's Dogma 2 and God of War, it mixes light and heavy attacks, blocks, dodges, and contextual blows, like drop kicks or grabs that vary according to the moment. Phantom Blade Zero is an upcoming action RPG developed and published by the Chinese studio S-Game, scheduled to be released for PlayStation 5 and PC. The title has generated great anticipation for its unique blend of wuxia, Chinese martial arts, steampunk, cyberpunk, and a style that creator Soulframe Liang calls Kung Fu Punk. Developed with Unreal Engine 5, the game promises cutting-edge visuals with detailed character models and immersive environments. The game uses a system called Combo Chain, designed to allow players to create complex attack sequences with relatively simple controls, making combat visually impressive even for beginners. Unlike Souls-like games, Phantom Blade Zero doesn't aim to be punishing. It offers multiple difficulty options, including a casual mode for players who want to enjoy the story, and an extreme mode that alters enemy AI for a greater challenge. Lost Soulside is a highly anticipated action RPG developed by the Chinese studio Ultazero Games, scheduled to be released on May 30th, 2025 for PlayStation 5 and PC. The game, which began as a solo project by developer Yang Bing in 2016, has evolved over the years with the support of Sony through the China Hero Project, an initiative that fosters game development by Chinese studios for the global market. Lost Soulside follows the journey of Khazar, a young swordsman who becomes the host of a symbiotic entity called Arena, a kind of supernatural being that manifests as a weapon, often described as a crystal dragon or living sword. The plot unfolds in a fantasy world ravaged by war, where Khazar embarks on an epic quest to save his sister Louisa and protect humanity from dimensional invaders known as Voidraks. The narrative promises to be dense and emotional, exploring themes of loss, sacrifice, and redemption, with clear inspirations from Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy.
I see great power within you, a destiny waiting to be fulfilled. Let me be your vengeance. The blade in your hand. Wanted to be a hero, but for humanity's sake, you must.
Marvel's Blade is a third-person, single-player action-adventure game developed by Arcane Lion, a French studio known for titles like Dishonored and Deathloop. The game was officially announced during the Game Awards on December 7, 2023, in collaboration with Bethesda Softworks and Marvel Games. It is based on the iconic Marvel character Blade, the vampire hunter created by Marv Wolfman and Gene Colan in 1973, known as the Daywalker for being a dhampir, half human, half vampire. The story follows Eric Brooks, the Blade, in an original narrative that draws inspiration from the comic book mythology and its various adaptations in other media. The plot focuses on his fight to stop a vampire invasion in Paris, while he deals with the internal conflict of his hybrid nature divided between humanity and the world of the undead.
Lock up tight now. Night's just getting started.
The Witcher 4 is an upcoming open-world single-player RPG developed and published by CD Projekt Red, the studio behind the acclaimed The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. Officially announced during the Game Awards 2024, the game marks the beginning of a new trilogy in the Witcher series. Unlike the original trilogy, which had Geralt of Rivia as the protagonist, The Witcher 4 puts Ciri, Geralt's adopted daughter, as the main character. The game is being developed with Unreal Engine 5, a significant change from the proprietary Red engine used in the developer's previous titles. It promises to be the most immersive and ambitious open-world game in the Witcher series to date, according to the developer. The Witcher 4 focuses on Ciri, who is now a full-fledged Witcher, after going through the painful trial of the grasses. The game will explore her early journey as a monster hunter, as she defines her own path and codex as a Witcher.
Forgive me, daughter. 'Twere my only choice.
I shall be the bringer of salvation.
A witcher? Witcher! Whose coin did ye take? Nay, you can't. 'Tis tradition. Chosen she is, by the gods!
No! You chose her. Back to the village. Go, now.
Nay! I must save them! Save the village!
Save yourself! Run! To shelter! To your father! Run!
She were to go to the woods. The chosen one. His tradition.
Oh no, no, no.
It's all we wanted. For her to go to the woods. To go to the gods.
Gods? There are no gods here. There are only monsters.
Hell is Us is a third-person action-adventure game being developed by Rogue Factor and published by Nacon. It is scheduled to be released on September 4th, 2025 for PC via Steam, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. The game has generated anticipation due to its unique gameplay approach, mature narrative, and a semi-open world full of mysteries. The setting mixes elements of science fiction with a gothic and medieval style, inspired by works like the 2018 film Annihilation and the Southern Reach trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer. The setting is dark and atmospheric, with deserted villages, muddy swamps, and mysterious tombs, creating a sense of desolation and strangeness. The game focuses on intense melee combat with weapons like swords, spears, and axes, each with its own attack styles and speeds. Remy also uses a drone called Cappy, which can distract enemies or help him in battles.
Impossible. It's you. You must continue. We've begun to uncover.
Directive 8020 is an interactive horror and survival game being developed and published by Supermassive Games, known for titles like Until Dawn and The Quarry. It will be the first game in the second season of the Dark Pictures anthology series and the fifth overall title in the anthology. Directive 8020 maintains the essence of the Dark Pictures anthology series, being a third-person narrative game with multiple playable protagonists in this case, 5 members of the Cassiopeia crew. Their decisions shape the story, which has a branching narrative, affecting the characters' fates and the outcome of the game. Choices can lead to the permanent death of protagonists or drastically alter the relationships between them. The game's title is a reference to NASA's old Directive 8020, replaced in 2022 by Directive 8700, which dealt with biological contamination control on space missions, suggesting that the plot may involve themes of infection and quarantine.
Do you think Williams knows more about this substance than he's letting on?
We can't take any chances with him.
It can manipulate its physical appearance. It's changing its cellular structure. It's replicating the human form. It's replacing us.
I know this will be difficult to hear, but if you're still out there, you deserve the truth.
Onimusha. Way of the Sword is the new game in the Onimusha franchise, set to be released in 2026. The game is an action-adventure game set in feudal Japan during the Edo period in a distorted version of Kyoto. The game features frenetic sword combat gameplay, where players face demonic monsters known as Genma. The game also features elements of horror and mystery, with an engaging story set in a dark and intrigue-filled environment. The Onimusha franchise is known for its unique combination of action, adventure, and horror elements, and Onimusha, Way of the Sword seems to be following that tradition. The game will be released in 2026 for PC and consoles, and fans of the Onimusha franchise are eager to see what Capcom has in store for them.
Let's see your best then, eh?
Swordplay is a game of strength. Winning is what matters. And you can bring as many friends as you want.
Not good.
So riled up.
Industria 2 is a game in development by Bleakmill, a small indie team, and will be published by Head Up Games. It is a sequel to the game Industria, released in 2021, and promises to expand the narrative and atmospheric experience of the original. Taking advantage of Unreal Engine 5, Industria 2 offers stunning graphics with realistic lighting and detailed assets. The plot of Industria 2 takes place years after the events of the first game. Nora, who in the original was launched into an alternate reality while searching for a missing colleague in East Berlin in 1989, is now trying to escape this parallel dimension. The setting mixes industrial decay with a vast and mysterious boreal landscape full of alien mechanical structures. The narrative promises to be emotional, with memorable characters such as Marlene, a familiar figure from East Berlin that Nora encounters in this dimension.
There is a sender at headquarters. I can show you the way if you help me arrive there in one piece.
Deal.
Nora, what was Atlas made for in the first place? Before it became this.
It was a sorting algorithm meant to scrape the universe base layer for data. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dimensions.
I guess it didn't stay that way.
Black State is a spy game in development by Motion Blur, a Turkish studio that promises realistic graphics and dynamic gameplay. Black State draws inspiration from genre classics like Metal Gear Solid and Splinter Cell. The game features a third-person combat system with over 100 takedown animations. The promise is of an immersive espionage experience with a focus on stealth and action. Black State stands out for its impressive visuals with ultra-photorealistic graphics. The game uses ray tracing to create realistic lighting and reflections, as well as offering a visually rich experience. The game promises a dynamic gameplay experience, with fluid transitions between phases without loading screens. Players will be able to explore various locations and enjoy gameplay that combines action, stealth, and strategy.
Inside a military base. Activating the map maker. Tell me what you can see.
Seems busy out there. Stealthy approach advised.
Too late.
Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, is an action-adventure game in development by Skydance New Media and published by PlayOn, scheduled to be released in late 2025. The game is set in Nazi-occupied Paris during World War II and tells the story of an unlikely alliance between Captain America, Steve Rogers, and Azuri, the Black Panther of the 1940s. Rise of Hydra is described as an action-adventure game with a strong emphasis on narrative, similar to the style of the Uncharted series games, which makes sense considering that Amy Hennig, the creator of Uncharted, is leading the project. Players will be able to control 4 main characters at different points in the story. While specific details about the gameplay are still scarce, the game is expected to combine dynamic combat, exploration, and cinematic sequences. There are indications that players will travel to different locations, such as the streets and rooftops of occupied Paris, and possibly even Wakanda, as suggested by some sources. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you next time.
Please, just stick to the rooftops. Be careful, stand wasami.
When am I not?
It's better if I tackle this one alone.
You may encounter some obstacles.
That won't be a problem.
Our cat friend is definitely here too. And by the look of things, he's not very far ahead.
The American boy is right on your heels.
Who the hell are you?
If you wanted us dead, we'd be dead. So what do you want?
Answers.
That's far enough! Stay out of my way!
Stand aside!
I do not take orders from anyone!
I don't have time for this.
Neither do I.